This is exercise 7-5. To start, we want to go to the floor plan, and we want to activate the main roof floor plan. And now we are going to look for the section between grid lines A and B, so this section right here. We're going to click on that, and if we right-click, we can say Go to View. So now this shows us a view, a section view cut through that wall. So you can see the footer, foundation wall, the wall of the building, and then all the way up to the parapet. So this is the roof, and then this is the parapet, the part that extends past the roof. We also see a detail bubble in here, or call out. So we're going to double click on that, and it's going to activate the call out view. Actually, if it doesn't, you should be able to, sorry, I actually don't want to do that. I just want to see the name of the call out over here in the view. Which call out is it? We just want to know the name of it. So we got call out section 2. Alright, so that's showing the highlighting of that part of that building. Another thing you could have done very easily is we could have just said go to view. Sometimes it makes it difficult that it needs to be. You can, if you click on these and right click, you could say go to view, and then it goes right to that view. Okay, well anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the crop window to activate the grips. So this crop window around it, these are our grips. The grips allow you to change the extent of the view. So we're going to drag this crop region here so that we can see the top of the roof parapet. So once you have it set so it looks kind of like the book and you can see the top of the roof parapet, you're good. You want to highlight the call out view, so come down here, and we're going to rename it. So call out of section 2, we're going to rename. We want to name this roof detail, and then say OK. In the Properties pane, under the Extents, so over here we're going to look under Extents, we want to set the far clip settings to independent. So you're going to see far clip settings, it says same as parent view, so the parent view would be whichever view that section is cutting through, what it's relating back to. So if we change the crop region on one, it would change on another. If we set it independent, we can change things in one view and it won't change them in another. And then we're going to change the far clip offset to 5 feet. So this far clip offset is going to be 5 feet. We're going to say apply. Alright, now notice when I did that the rest of the roof here that I could see in the distance disappeared. So now it's saying my section is only looking back 5 feet. And it's really just so I can focus on this parapet without having that wall, the top part of the roof, running through this section. Just makes it a little bit cleaner, okay? Alright, so now we're going to zoom in on this drawing, and we want to select the roof. So this is our roof, and we can see that it's a steel truss insulation on metal deck with EPDM. So this would be the steel truss. This hatch is insulation, and then the EPDM is like a rubber membrane that's spread across that. We're going to change the roof type to concrete insulated. Okay, and then notice, oh, it got super skinny. So if the roof is changed in the section view, is it changed in the model? So that's the question. So I just changed that basic roof concrete insulated in the section view, but now if I go to my 3D view and I click on this roof, you can see it did change the roof in the whole entire model. Alright, and that's what it's supposed to do. So let's go back to that roof detail section. We're going to select a repeating detail tool from the detail panel on the annotate ribbon. So we've got annotate, this is our detail panel, and then we want to make a repeating detail. So component, repeating detail. We're going to set the repeating detail as brick using the type selector, so brick. We're going to pick 2 points indicated in the book to place the brick detail. So we want the brick, it appears, to run from this little reveal, right? We want it to run from here all the way up 3 foot 4 inches. So we're going to type in 3 feet 4 inches and hit enter. Okay. So now you have the brick. You can see it running from this reveal to the underside of the parapet cap. Let's just click on that detail and take a look at some of the elements of it. So I'm going to hit Edit Type, and we're just going to take a look at the detail. It's a brick standard running section, fixed distance. The spacing is 2 5/8 of an inch. We're going to say duplicate. We're going to create a new detail and call it mortar. And then we're going to say OK. We're going to change the detail to mortar joint, brick joint. And then we're going to say OK. So now you can see that actually there's been a brick joint placed in between, or a mortar joint placed in between each one of those bricks. And it automatically just plopped that right in there, didn't it? That was pretty nice. Now let me make sure I didn't change anything here. So I've got my mortar detail. I'm just going to move that out for a minute. Oh, you know what? I accidentally changed my detail like the book said. So this is supposed to be brick, wasn't it? Yep. And I had it selected still, which is the reason it did this. So I had to fix some things. Okay. I'm actually just going to start over a little bit with my repeating detail. I'm going to place that brick up 3 foot 4 inches and hit enter. And then hit modify and escape to get out of the command. That's what happened to me. And I'm going to repeat my repeating detail. And now I'm going to say mortar. And I'm going to click, I believe it said to click at the top here. And now if it faces the wrong way like mine is, you can hit the space bar and it will go the right way. I'm going to pull that down to the bottom. Okay, so now it should have put that brick, the mortar in between the bricks. But it looks like what it did is it's a little offset, isn't it? Yeah, it's not like hitting those bricks quite right. And I think it's because I started at the underside of the cap. Let me try that one more time. It's okay if this happens to you, right? This is what we do this for. Just trying to figure it out. So I'm going to component with the mortar. Let me start my, doesn't seem to want to start in the right spot. There we go. Now it looks, yeah, now it's right. I just was clicking a little too far up the detail. There. Now those mortar joints, you can see them, are placed in between the brick. So the mortar is just what attaches the brick together. Zoom in to see those joints. Now we're going to select the detail component tool from the annotate ribbon, and we're going to select the 3x3 cant strip that you see. Okay, and that cant strip, we want to place it on top of the roof. So it should be touching the top of the roof and the top of that wall. And what that is, the purpose of this is so that water and leaves and some other things don't get stuck in the corner of where the wall of the parapet joins with the roof. Right, so it's creating like an angled piece. So now if it rains or snows, water will float down and away instead of getting stuck here and then creating a potential leak problem. And we're going to select the detail line tool from the annotate ribbon, and we're going to change it to medium lines. And then we're going to enable chain and enter an offset of 1/4 inch. We're going to select the pick lines tool from the draw panel, and we're going to pick the top part of the roof to be offset over here. So we got to zoom in. And then we're going to pick the vertical wall over here. And then we're going to switch to the draw line. Oop, I hit escape. I'll just go back. Medium line. Hit switch to draw lines right here. And we're going to place a line parallel to the cant strip. And we're going to set that offset to 1/4 inch. Okay, and now we're just going to trace the edge of the cant strip. And when I do that, see it's placing the line actually 1/4 inch above that point. Alright, good. And then we're going to use the, we can click on a line, we're just going to use the trim command to trim up all of this stuff. Remember, you click on the object you want to keep. Okay, so anyway, now we have some lines here. We're going to use the trim tool. We clean that up. We're going to flip the page in the book. Okay. Next, we're going to select the vertical line here. Okay, so let's zoom out. We're going to select this vertical line to enable a temporary dimension. We're going to set the vertical line's temporary dimension to 8 inches. So I'm going to click in here and type 8 inches and hit enter. Okay, so that line shrunk way the heck down, right? And now I'm going to select a component. So annotate component, detail component, and I'm going to place a flashing cap. So I'm looking for flashing cap, and then I'm coming over here. I'm placing the flashing cap above the vertical line. So right above it, here's this flashing cap. We're going to click. And then it says select the flashing cap and use the grips to adjust the size. So you can pull it out a little bit. You could pull this part in if you wanted to. Oops, too much. Pulled it in a little too far. That one pulls it out. We got to figure out what does what. This pulls it in. It doesn't want to go in anymore. We'll leave it there. This would pull this up. Okay, so now let's talk about what the purpose of that was, just so you have an idea. And then we can pull this into, we need to pull this guy back into the wall. Alright, so what's happening here is that if water is coming down, this is all representing flashing that we created here, but we want, this is like a drip edge so that the water does not get inside of this wall. Again, we're always just trying to keep water away. So it would come down over this, and then it would drip down, hit this piece, and then shed off the roof. Right, so that's the purpose of that flashing cap that's in there. And typically you would see those right up in this placement on the wall. This is a good example. Okay, so that's the end of that exercise. If you just want to zoom out so you have an entire shot of this, so you can take a screenshot.